How are you? Everybody good? Great to see you. I appreciate you taking time out to join us this evening. April's got a training for you tonight. I just want to go through a couple things. Um, Funny story. I'm not sure. Maybe last Sunday we might have mentioned, but it was kind of like April and I, our number came up at corporate. And what I mean by that is they just had a whole bunch of stuff they wanted us to do for the company. And it was like a bombarding. It was doing a rally call, it was doing an opportunity meeting, it was going into Indianapolis. It was just a bunch of stuff. So here's a funny thing. So we're doing, and some of you may have been on, I think it was Tuesday night, we did an opportunity call for corporate, and they record it, and the whole idea is they want to be able to repost it. And on Friday, a couple days before, we had to do a Zoom with compliance, with legal department and compliance at the company, going over the do's and don'ts, of what to say and not say. So by the time they got done, April and I, we were just going to say, take us off the list. There's just no way that we can get through an opportunity presentation with your don'ts, with what not to do. And we decided, all right, we just do the best we can with it. I mean, I had never heard so much stuff that we were not allowed to say in my life. So forward ahead to Tuesday night, and we do the opportunity presentation. And first thing Tuesday morning, it's up on their website. And Brinley reaches out to us and she says they had no changes. They didn't have to do anything. It's the fastest they've been able to take an opportunity presentation and just put it up on their site. And I'm like, praise God. I don't know how that happened, because you get on a roll and you just get on a roll, and you're not worried about a certain word or something like that. But having it hang over your head, is tough when you're trying to do your best job, and knowing in that lot. And then I'm like, well, if they edit it or they don't post it, so what? That's going to be that. But it was funny how it came about. But one other thing I just want to mention, what a great job Erica Dale and her team did in Indianapolis. I, the comfort in which they, and just the way they treated me and April and Skylar, and the comfort that they made sure that we had, made it so nice to do the meeting there. And leaving Florida for Indianapolis, the temperature changed a little bit, you can imagine, going from there, one place to the next. But they did a fabulous job. They had people come in from states, different states all over. But it was the coolest venue that I have ever seen. And I don't know how they found this. It wasn't until it was over that I figured out, and somebody told me it was actually an auction house for expensive, exotic, fancy cars. And they have a meeting room for presentations, which I guess is the auction room, when people are bidding on these cars. And when you do, so the meeting is in that room, and it's a beautiful room, high tech, and they open up the glass walls so you can walk around and look at the cars. So it was really cool. So I was trying to get Skylar to give me the corporate credit card so I could just buy one, and he just wouldn't give it to me. I said, just call Steve Fife and see if it's okay. And, there's two or three in there I like, and but it was the coolest venue I'd ever seen. Normally, to do a meeting there would be about $2,500. And Erica's got a deal worked out where it's $500. And they do it there every month. And the reason I share that with you, if you ever get an opportunity to do anything that Erica Dale is hosting in Indiana or Indianapolis, do it. Okay. She just did a fabulous job there. And, we had a great time. Skylar was great, also. And we forced them to do a little bit more of the meeting instead of just a 30-second blurb. We kind of got some mileage out of them being the senior director of sales for the United States. So anyway, it was a great venue. We got back last night and fun. But as you know, tomorrow night is our opportunity meeting, and I know April's got some things to say about that. So April, I'm going to give it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, how's everybody doing? I thought we were coming back to a warmer Florida, but I was mistaken. It's freezing.
It's cold here.
But anyway, we did have a great time, and she did amazing meeting it. And one of the takeaways I took from her meeting was she's really good at using other small businesses to help her business, and just to get that network out there in different ways. She had a photographer on site that was another, helping people get headshots and different pictures with the cars and stuff. That was really nice. And then she sends the pictures out to those people to help them, because the more pictures we can all have, the more that helps our social presence as well. So I thought that was super smart. She gave us a little gift box that was made by another small business owner, to take back to the hotel room. So she's intermingling a lot of that, and I thought that was really, really smart, because they're all working off of one another's businesses and stuff. But one of the things I want to talk about tonight is the confidence in your new prospects. I find as I talk to people, they love everything about what we have, and who would. You can decide when you want to get up in the morning, when you want to go to work, where you want to work. We have everything that anyone could want. We can give ourselves a raise at any time we want. You know all this. We have all this. But I find a lot of people are confessing right off the bat, I'm not good at technology, or I'm not really up on social, or I don't know if I can do this. I'm not good in sales, and you hear all this stuff that is, just to me, a lack of confidence. And I want to talk about how we can do a better job of, getting them over that hurdle, so that they'll join us, because you find a lot of times people will they kind of linger. You're not really getting them to pull the trigger, but they're not going away either. It's kind of like they want it, but they're scared of it and stuff. And again, to me, that is, lack of confidence. And you may have heard Bobby mention last week or the week before, we talked about the percentage of people failing to dream, failing to set goals these days. We seem to be in this, and all that kind of boils down to, and what we're looking for is a person who wants to be an entrepreneur. And so when people don't really understand what an entrepreneur is, the number one trait you can have as an entrepreneur is a person that'll figure it out. And Skyla said it so good. Our company, we are spoiled. I'll tell you, from our previous company, we are totally spoiled, because every time we didn't get something we wanted, our previous company would say, hey, it's our job to ship the product and pay you. That's it. The rest is on your own. And Bobby and I had to figure it out all the time. And so, we were kind of independent. And Bobby even said, in the beginning, when the company would call us and say, how can we help you? We'd be like, we don't know. Nobody's ever asked us how they could help us. We have no idea what you want to help us with. Took us a little while to get a handle on
We
that.
figured it out, though.
We figured it out, but it took us a little while. And so often what the confidence is tied into is a lack of action, and that can be with ourselves. And I just think of our journey in this. When we first got involved, the couple that we got involved with, they, first of all, we had a long distance sponsor, but the couple we were working with locally, they would argue over our people in the meeting. So our people were sitting on sofas in a house meeting, and he and she were arguing over figures and just dumb stuff all the time. And, I finally said to Bobby, I can't invite anybody else here, because this is horrible. This is awful that they're arguing all the time. And so, then he gave me the ultimatum. He said, well, if we don't go to their meeting, we have to do our own meeting. And I'm like, oh no, you don't understand. I don't talk in front of people, So that was a hurdle we had to overcome. So you wonder, like, how do we help other people give confidence? You get confidence by doing action. There's no shortcut. You need to be able to do that. And even if you're bad at it and you fail, there's a learning lesson in there. And so using that term where you're just, and a lot of times we'll use like GTS, Google that shit, figuring it out is really where this is all about. Doing it, making mistakes. So, as we go into our launch tomorrow, if you're not inviting because you haven't figured it out yet, you're unsure of what to say. I know Bobby and I have a new consultant last week or the week before, and he's doing something a little bit different with inviting. And so I'm like, well, send it out to 10 people and let's see what kind of results we get. And then if we need to tweak it, we're going to tweak it again. So, if we don't know how to do something, we either need to figure it out or we need to Google that, GTS it and figure out, how to do it. But by instilling that in new people and holding their hand so that they understand, because the only way they're ever going to get better, and you have to set that bar for them, that they're not expected to know anything at this point. So we need to literally take them by the hand and show them. And a lot of times in this business, it's super easy because we're just doing what we did to them. And so you turn it around to them and say, is there any part, and this is why we need to keep it super simple. We need to keep our invite super tight, super simple, not really wordy or anything. Get to the invite with the person. As soon as they say yes, get off the phone. I mean, do not continue to explain what our opportunity is about. Sending a video. Who can't send a video? Who can't follow up? So when you can show the people that what you did, you're going to do with them, it just makes it that much easier. But in order for us to get to the point where we have confidence in that, we got to do it. We got to do it again. It's no difference than if you want to be in front of the room. People they're not just born with confidence. They have to do things over and over again. I forget who said it. There is a 10,000 rule out there. By the time you've taken 10,000 swings with a bat or a tennis racket, or you've done any skill for, I think it's 10,000 hours or something like that. By the time you've done something again and again and again is where people get confidence from doing it. And the fact that we fail at it, and I always thought it was funny, people build their confidence immediately differently. And so there's some things you can do if you're sitting down, and you're going to start to call some of your prospects. And again, you've heard Bobby and I say, you got to be inviting every day, 2 or 3 people. It doesn't take a lot of time. Pick up the phone, have a short conversation, do texting if you want. A lot of people text. It's totally fine these days. I find a lot of people, they don't even have voicemail these days. So, you almost have to be texting them, which makes it easier. You can really think about what you're going to say in a text, as opposed to, the old days we were talking about, we had to invite people to a physical meeting all the time. We had to do the meeting. We had to have a place for the meeting. There were so many things, but today it's really an invite. That's your skill, that you need to get confidence in and that you need to teach, particularly that new person. And that's who we're talking about. We're all doing a great job of getting new people. The GLP-1 is just going to explode this company. So, your first skill is going to be your own personal inviting. And everybody's doing a great job of that. I mean, there's not a person that can't invite to a launch that's talking about GLP-1, because we know 82% of the country is overweight, looking to maintain their weight, particularly as we go into holiday season. So, we need to really up the invites, because, the other thing is, and it's funny, I hope Erica's group got a sense of this. There were people in that room that weren't her group. There's people in your backyard that are going to be in somebody else's group. People that you personally know are going to be in somebody else's group. So if we don't get to it, and I'm already seeing it, people that were in LifeVantage early on, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, are rejoining LifeVantage under somebody else.
Yep. It's happening every day.
Yeah. So, I mean, we really need to make sure that we're covering our bases, that we're out there talking to people, inviting people. Even if you invite somebody and they say not now, or I can't do it Monday night, or, not at this time, at least you've covered your base. So when that person looks at LifeVantage down the road because they see something on Facebook, and that's really, where people are going to see stuff. If they're not seeing your stuff, they're seeing somebody else's. They'll at least reach. And I've had this. People have been to me. I just had a doctor like re-sign up after a number of years. And she said, it's exploding in my area, but I called you because you always stayed in contact with me and I respect what you're doing as far as with your business. She didn't have to sign up with me. She could have signed up with somebody local again to where it's exploding in that area. And Bobby and I have been down that area. So we know there's like a bunch of lines down in that area. So, it's just going on. But, the way that we go about getting our confidence for each of us is going to be a little bit different. But I thought it was funny. I remember doing, I think it was what do they call that? Where we had a bunch of us on stage and they were all asking the questions, a panel, LifeVantage calls it. And I think there were 4 other women when I was on this panel. And I thought it's so interesting how each of them gained their own confidence. So one had a headphone on, whatever she was listening to, probably music. Another was jumping around all over the place. The other one was just kind of like silent in prayer. And, everybody was getting their confidence from something. But, it is proven if you just, get yourself excited, get yourself moving, whatever it is, when you talk to people, you will have a better outcome. So you may have to sit there and just be grateful, which is this time of the year, be grateful for what you have. Think about all the positive stuff. Instead of picking up the phone and going to the negative, what if they say no or this or that, just be grateful that you've got this opportunity that somebody offered to you, that it's moving along, that you do have people that have said yes. I know for me, one of the self-preservations that I've always had is I never remember the no's. I don't remember who said no. I only remember the yeses because those are the important people. So that's been a self-preservation thing that I have. I get no's all day long. I don't worry about it. I think about it like if somebody said no, they didn't want coffee or they didn't want something I was offering them. It really doesn't matter. But this is, again, all about challenging yourself to do it again and again. And this is going to be so important to each of us. Picking up the phone and inviting people can be scary at first, but you got to get your new people over it. You got to link arms. If you got to do a Zoom so they can be on the phone and you can be typing stuff in for them, or, you want to do a 3-way and be texting them, whatever, giving them the words for whatever it is, give them the words before they get started with it. It really is that lack of confidence that so many people have. And I think it's stopping a lot of people from getting started because they truly don't believe they can do it. But the only thing they need to do is that action. And that action will create the confidence to have them build a huge business. And we are really, I heard Rachel say to Erica, because they're pretty close in their lineage, that, she could see the next 3 or 4 months, we will truly be in momentum because she can see what's already happening. When we heard the checks of the people 2 weeks ago, when we were down in Stewart or West Palm, we were down in West Palm. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know. Just as we went around, Bobby and I went around, everybody's checks doubled. I mean, we were all making good income before that, and then they just popped. So we really need to make sure that, we get in line and that our new people get in action, because we don't want to leave them behind, particularly if they're not plugged into this. A lot of times you'll get new consultants that don't necessarily plug into all of our trainings, but you've got to take that information. Again, it's lack of confidence and lack of vision, because they're not taking the time on a Sunday night to get the most valuable training they need. I love that, and actually I didn't love going into Indy because it was freezing. And I know Rhonda told me it was snowing the day before, and I'm thinking, oh, now we're going into snow and freezing, and that's travel delays and stuff. So wasn't excited about that, but I loved being there. I loved, being around Erica and some of the other ladies that I got to spend time with, because, we're all so like-minded, and you get a lot of positive stuff from them and you learn a lot from them. So, if there's ever an event anywhere near you, it may be a struggle to get there, but it's always so worth it to be able to go there and just be able to pick the brains of other people. And, that's truly one of the things our company has and has done so well, is we pick one another's brains. I mean, we all share whatever we have, which is truly unique to us compared to the company that Bobby and I were with, previous to this. So, I just want to let you know and tell your new people that that confidence for the thing they think they're lacking, technology, Facebook, people skills, knowing people, all that comes from a lack of action. And once they get into action, they will have the competency. And I'd rather have confidence with no knowledge over a lot of knowledge and no confidence. And so that confidence is created just simply by, getting ourselves into action, making ourselves do something that's totally uncomfortable, and related to like something like chopsticks. None of us were born, well, for the most part, we were not born with chopsticks in our hand. We grew up eating with a fork. We learned to eat with a fork. And at some point you go to, a Chinese restaurant or something and somebody hands you chopsticks. You have two paths now. You can either take the fork or you can take the chopstick. The person who takes the chopstick will fail, but they're learning a new thing. They're gaining more confidence. And that's really how we have to look at the skills in this business. Pick up the chopsticks, and you'll find that you just get that much better about it. So, but anyway, I just, I wanted to share a little bit of that. I know we're going to be inviting to the launch. If you've got questions, if you're stuck on an invite, reach out to someone. Fred's great at inviting. There's a lot of leaders on this call. If you're not positive of your message, what to text somebody at this point, just reach out to somebody, because that's really where it is. Or if your person has something that they're stuck with, reach out to us and stuff. So, but anyway, we'll all get more confident just by that action. And that's been the thing with Bobby and I, because whether it was speaking in front of the room, whether it was inviting, no matter what we've done as far as skill set, you need to learn over time. And that's the only way that you get better at it, is just by doing. And we've got funny stories about that desire to exceed. I remember the time you went to Fire Island with Bill Hempel.
Oh God.
So, because there was desire, he did something that he was totally uncomfortable with. But isn't that and I can remember a time where we came out with a thigh cream, and I personally called a bunch of salons and made appointments to go to these. Totally out of character for me, but you know what? The desire was there to keep trying, so that we could get the confidence to be confident in what we were doing. So anyway, Bobby, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Let me, I used a couple of examples in Indianapolis, and, my mind thinks sports, and that you hear me talk about it all the time. And our hotel and the meeting room was right next to Lucas Oil Stadium. It's where the Indianapolis Colts play, so we were right next to the stadium. And it just kind of made me think a little bit. And, and they have a famous owner, Jim Irsay is a big time owner. And let me ask you this. Number one, most people don't talk to another person about an opportunity or a product because they're afraid of what that person is going to think of them. Okay. And my question to you is this. We all know we are doing this business, number one, 1A, 1B, and 1C. We're doing it for our health. We're doing it for our families. We're doing it for our finances. We're doing it because we care about other people, and we want them to have the opportunity to enjoy the things that we enjoy. Okay? Those are our reasonings on why we're doing it. Okay? So why would you care if somebody said no, or somebody even said something dumb to you? Why would you even care if you know why you're doing it and you know that they don't know why you're doing it? Why would you even care? Okay. And I use this example. Try and imagine this. It's the Saturday night before the Super Bowl. Okay. And the Super Bowl is in your town. Okay. The example I used was Indianapolis because that's where we were. It's in your town and your team is in it. Okay. Your team is in it and you're the home field advantage. Okay. And the owner of the team calls you on Saturday night and he says, I'm not using my skybox tomorrow for the game. You're welcome to use it, and it'll seat 40 people. You can invite 40 people to come with you. I just need to know who the names are so I can give it to my assistant by noon tomorrow. Okay. Would you have trouble inviting 40 people to the game? Would you have a long waiting list for the ones that didn't or couldn't make it? Or let me ask you this. Would you be insulted by the people you called and invited to the game and they said, no, I'm not interested. No, I don't want to go. Sorry, I had other plans. Would you be insulted with that? Yet we have something so much bigger than the Super Bowl. We have something that's legacy type of business, something that lasts a lifetime, something that can help anybody we talk to anywhere in the world, and we don't reach out. Yet, if you had 12 hours to get 40 people to sit in the owner's box at the Super Bowl, local people to watch your local team in the biggest game and the biggest venue in the world, the Super Bowl, nothing is bigger than the Super Bowl worldwide, okay? You know you'd fill it up in a heartbeat. That's LifeVantage, folks. That's where we are with GLP-1. And that's how you should treat tomorrow night. Okay, whenever somebody is going through the trouble of putting a meeting on, and you just got to put a fanny in the seat or a face on the screen, you know, we're looking at the Hollywood Squares now, you just got to put a face on the screen. Okay, and that's the only thing you need to do to benefit from the event. Okay, that should be an absolute no-brainer. And what's really funny, you know, again, April and I, you know, did all the, you know, we had a couple local people that hit EC1 and they did a little bit of the getting started training yesterday. But other than that, April and I did the 3 hours. And Erica's been forwarding text messages that have come, you know, from her group with feedback from it. And, you know, one of the things that we all get used to with each other is each other. We talk to and see each other all the time. And because of that, maybe we get less effective than we would be speaking to a different group in a different city because we know each other personally. We've hung out. We've been in places for long periods of time. We've been, you know, at a lot of conferences and stuff. And you've heard this before. Invite people to the launch. Invite people that you've heard it before. But there's people, and here's what I want to, you know, share with you tonight. The GLP-1 is on its way back. Okay. Whether it's a week from now, 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from now, but it's not going to be later than what they said. They're trying to move it up. And we're already past the midway point. Okay. They said mid-December. And here we are looking at, you know, the 25th tomorrow. So we're getting in that 2 week, 2.5 week area. Okay. There's a lot of people that missed it the first time. Okay. Their checks didn't double. They didn't add 50 new customers. They didn't have a waiting list of 50 people waiting to buy it. They ignored it. Whatever it was, okay, they missed it the first time. Can you imagine we have a chance to do it again? It's happening again. In the next 2 weeks or so, it's going to be back in stock. So you've already seen what it did for the company, the biggest month ever in the company's history. And that happened because 55 people were in a club that got results. What in the world do you think is going to happen when thousands of people been on it and it's back in stock? See, that's what we're looking at. This company's going to go to $1 billion quick. Wait till you see what happens when they report, you know, we're in a new quarter that ends December 31st. Wait till they report sales volume for the quarter when this, because remember, the GLP is coming back in. So October was the first month of the quarter. Okay, November, people were ordering it even though we weren't shipping it. And December is going to be psycho. Okay. Wait to, I'm telling you, folks, we're in a place that very rarely in our lives do we get to be in. And you got to treat this like what it is. It's the Super Bowl. And you have unlimited seats available to you starting tomorrow night. Okay. And what difference does it make what anybody thinks if they don't really know why you're doing what you do? Who cares what they think? Someday they're going to understand why you're doing it and that you care about people, and they're going to wish they got in earlier, but they're going to join. Okay. But here's one, and we heard this a couple times yesterday when we were in Indy. There's a lot of people getting involved in LifeVantage that other people have spoken to, other people have known, and nobody followed up with them. I'm telling you, you're going to have people recruiting your brothers and sisters, your mothers and fathers, your nieces and nephews, if you don't get out of the closet and start letting people know what we have. This is going to go berserk. And if somebody is on your mind or on your list, guess what? They're on someone else's list. Okay. If you think enough of them that they're a good candidate, someone else knows them and is thinking of them also. So we've said this before. We want everybody. This should be a sprint from tonight to global in April. Okay. We should go on a 5-month sprint, and we'll all party and celebrate and have such a great time in Utah. We won't even go to bed at night. We'll be so excited with what's going on. Okay. We got the GLP-1 coming in. We got Thanksgiving and Christmas where people get fat. We got New Year's where people make resolutions. The resolutions are weight related and money related. And then we got the whole weight loss spring, bathing suit, whole mentality, January, February, March, April. This is the time to get loud. This is the time to make sure everyone in your phone knows what you got. Big Pharma has spent hundreds of millions, if not billions, advertising their shots and their product and their stuff for years now. And we have an opportunity to use that awareness. We have an opportunity to use it. And I don't know that that'll ever happen again in our lifetime, where there's such knowledge out there. And I don't mean science knowledge. People just know GLP-1. They hear it and see it on TV, magazines, radio all day long. And they know it has something to do with weight loss, and they know you're getting poked. Okay. They know that. And natural is always easier for a person to accept. And it's funny, one of the things a group liked most yesterday is the way we used to share our Bioline product in our old company. People used to ask, how do you take it and how does it work? And we say, oh, you're going to love this. It's great. See, it's in this packet, and you open it up and you put the pills in your mouth and you swallow them, and it works. That's it. And if you don't take the packet out and you don't open it up and you don't swallow them, it don't work. That's how it works. Okay, you take it and it works. You don't take it, it don't work. Well, what's the GLP-1? 2 pills in the morning and some powder later in the day. That's it. If you do it, it works. If you don't do it, it don't work. Keep it simple. Okay, and by the way, you don't need to get poked. By the way, you don't need to get Ozempic face. Okay, by the way, you're not going to lose muscle. You're just going to lose fat. You can throw that in if you want, but really, the less you say, the better. Okay, the less you say, the better. So let's get loud and let's start. We got 24 hours. It's 8:30. So this time tomorrow night at 8:30, we're going to be doing our opportunity presentation. And we'll probably be right about 2 weeks away from it coming back. That means we can just start everybody, okay? They can sign any pack they want. They can sign on, for the GLP-1. We're getting and we know the next 4 or 5 shipments after this one, they're only 2 weeks apart. Even if we sell this one out, it's no more than 2 weeks away, the next one, and that's the next 4 or 5 shipments. So we're not going to run out again for like what happened here, okay? I think we are going to run out of this batch because I know I'm ordering 100 of them. Okay, so there's going to be people loading up on it, but I'm I don't think, we may go on a 2 week back order. That's not even a back order. Okay. You can use the holiday as an excuse for that. Okay. So we're going to be good. So let's make the most. April, you got anything else you want to share?
No, that's it. That was good. Really
Anyone
good.
else
Work.
want questions, or do you know tomorrow night is the launch? Are you aware of it? Have you started inviting people to it? One of the things we did also, you may want to get on early. Um, we're very respectful of other leaders when we're in their backyard and it's not really our team, even though we did have some teammates there. With using something that we're doing without asking their permission. So, Erica just said, have at it, man. Do whatever you want. Whatever you got on your mind, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to show, just do it. Well, everyone in Indianapolis has been invited to join us with their guests tomorrow night. Okay, so all the people that were there are welcome to join us, and we dared them, we challenged them to work with a 48-hour urgency like we're talking now, 24 hours. With them, it was 48 hours, to just get some people on there and let's take advantage of all the social opportunities we're going to have during the 4-day Thanksgiving break. Okay, where we're going to be around friends, family, and loved ones for 3 or 4 days. Okay, so that's all I got. Anyone have any questions or thoughts they want to share? And before we get back to inviting, anybody? Are we good? Is everyone going to be on tomorrow with guests? Wave at me if you're going to do that. Okay.
I got one thing, Bob.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Fred.
In Canada, after the subscription that runs tomorrow, we get our second flavor of Axio. So we've only had one flavor of Axio, so now we get our second, and it's dragon fruit. So in the Canadian market, we don't have to order that product from the NFR site.
Right.
So super excited about that. Just Axio is an amazing product, and to have another flavor, and you guys in the US are going, you guys only got one Axio? Like what? Yeah. So
I know. Fred, we're spoiled brats. Okay. And
well, I don't know about
it.
brats, but I don't know about
No,
brats. But
you know
spoiled.
what? We
spoiled.
If people understood
Yes.
the amount of opportunity that runs through the United States as compared to other countries around the world, they would work with more urgency.
Yeah.
You commented on my football picture with people sitting at a football game with a foot of snow surrounding them, on them, burying them, what they would do to get to a football game to watch their favorite team. Yet, God forbid, there's 10 minutes traffic to go to an opportunity meeting and build a multi-million-dollar business. Oh, wait, I can't do that.
That's right.
It's amazing, but
we don't want too much commitment. I've commented, we don't want too much commitment up here in Canada. Just the same amount of commitment you would put into getting your kid to his hockey game.
Yeah.
Getting up at 5:30 in the morning.
Down here, it would be baseball, Fred. That would be baseball.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, driving your kid to his practice. My parents did it. My mom did it. So.
Yep. Well, anyone got anything else before we let you go? We're going to see you in 24 hours. Let's all have 2 or 3 guests on tomorrow night. We've seen the numbers go over 100. Let's get the numbers up to 150, 200 tomorrow night. We increased it to 500. Let's see the numbers grow and take advantage of the last 6 weeks of the year. And then, the GLP restocking and, the whole New Year's resolution, all that stuff. Let's take advantage of it, man. I'm telling you, the timing of where we are, the way the stars are aligned right now for everybody. If you look back 2 or 3 years from now, you're going to get really mad at yourself if you didn't just go all in on this one, And I'm saying all in for 3, 4, 5 months and see what happens in that window of time. Just see what happens. So anyway, we appreciate you all. Thanks for getting on and spending time with us. Everything is in the Team Unity page on Facebook. If you need the invites, it's in the Collagen Picks on Messenger. I've sent it to all the leaders. You can probably just ask your sponsor for it. They have it if you need it. But we'll see you tomorrow night. Get on a few minutes early tomorrow night, okay? Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.